welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today we're looking at a spicy little brew, doing some Azorius Helm of the Host nonsense, hopefully setting up a board state that can compete with other decks that are trying to run us over using Seal Away, Baffling End, making some creatures with History of Benalia, taking some creatures away with Deputy of Detention, shutting some stuff down with Ixalan's Binding, possibly settling the wreckage. Then we set up for Helm of the Host with Shalai, Voice of Plenty to make everything hexproof, or with Lyra to make a million angels, or with Deputies to exile all their stuff, or with Timestream Navigator to take all the turns. Yes, you can ban the Nexus, but some of us will still find ways to take all the turns. Much fairer ways, to be totally clear. I'm still perfectly fine with Nexus being banned in best of one. It's totally fine with me. But that makes the combo, like doing it in kind of a funky way, all the more satisfying. All right. Also, we have Treasure Map to put it all together, and sometimes you need a massive amount of mana to play a Helm of the Host and equip it. A Treasure Map can do that. So that's what Treasure Map is doing in the deck. It looks like a weird mid-range pile that has an over-the-top endgame, and that's exactly what it's going for. We're not necessarily trying to control everything the opponent does. We're trying to have a battlefield presence and some traction of our own, because if we put our opponent under a little bit of pressure, they can let the shields down and possibly get helmed out of the game. So that's the strategy. I hope that you'll enjoy the games. I've had fun playing this deck so far. Let's go see how it does. This hand is really slow being on the draw. Like, absurdly slow. Our only hope is that Settle the Wreckage kind of saves it. I don't think I can mulligan it hoping for the better, but I should probably... I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's pretty bad. The opponent just... double Helm in the opener. That's a train wreck. That ain't good. And what we doing? Okay, it's this crap. All right, let's get the treasure map going. Although I don't know if scrying it's going to be very good. I guess it depends what our opponent does with their mana here. Okay. They're going to pump loot me. I guess that's fine. I think that this does mean I'd like to play a Deputy, though. The Settle's probably very bad against them. They'll just counter whatever I do. But the Deputy's pretty boss if we can resolve it, and I think we can right here. The question is there a dive down? If there is, we don't get to resolve this ability. But we have something on the board, so we don't have to keep getting punked by the Surge Mare. So we got a dive down out of our opponent's hand right away. That's good. Nope. What you got? If our opponent wants to use another dive down to kill the Deputy, that's something... Well, no, they still can't do that. It wouldn't be enough power, so this does nothing. Yep, you've got a 2-3. Are you going to make a 4-1? That's a trade. Okay, our opponent felt like doing that with their turn. Let's go ahead and resolve a Helm of the Host. So whatever creature we have on the board becomes a big problem. And the opponent is probably going to say go. Let's put an upkeep stop, because I don't want to run Teferi into a counter spell here. So let's use the treasure map instead. Lyra, pretty good. Draw. Is this legendary? It is. We can't even play the second one. Such a heartbreaker. Alright, I'll be over here figuring out my life. Okay, there's a Trickster. We get to burn or settle the wreckage. I don't see this as a very good card in the matchup at all, so literally I'm fine with setting it on fire. I'm fine with this getting countered. Doesn't bother me. We need to get the counters out of our opponent's hand somehow if they have them. Alright. It's almost too easy. There must be another creature. Okay. Well, if they had played that first, they could have countered it. Interesting. Well, like I said, we need to get the counters out of our opponent's hand. I just really hate running the Teferi into counter magic here and doing nothing else with my turn. So instead of doing that, I'm going to try for the treasure map and get 2 maps going. And the opponent's fine with that, as I think they should be. It's a tempo negative card, until it's a tempo positive card when it flips. Alright, our opponent's playing stuff. They've got little dorks. We're going to have to commit to the board at some point. You got something else too. Wow. Feeling it. Feeling themselves. Okay. The question is, essence. Do they have the essence capture thingy? Getting annoying up in here. Benalia doesn't do anything here. I think I'll take my draw though from here instead of running the other map. Alright, Time Stream Navigator. Maybe I can get this countered. It does threaten the combo. Let's see. Hold on here. This is 2 and then flip. If I resolve this, can I win next turn? Potentially. I have to have the city's blessing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be 7. 8, 9. And if this flips, it's 10. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and play this out. But I wouldn't flip this. I'd need another way to get the blessing. I'm exactly 1 treasure short. Well, let's see if the opponent counters this. If not, going for Lyra is fine. If they don't counter it, though, I don't have to. Resolves. Then I think I just say go. One, two, three, four, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I just say go. As long as the opponent can't bounce it. Let's see what happens. I don't think they can kill me. I don't think they can counter this now. Most of their deck won't do anything about this. Maybe they don't know the combo, or maybe they didn't have an Essence Capture or a Wizard's Retort. Let's find out. Let's scry. Sure. Having a backup isn't bad. I mean, I can go for it. I can definitely go for it. Equip. I mean, tapping it with a Trickster won't do anything. Blink of an eye? Is that game? I can make more mana. Alright. That resolves. Let's see, I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This, but that takes an extra turn. So we'll go for it and see if it gets countered. No. We have the blessing now. We don't have to try to get it back. But we don't have the... I don't think we have the mana to play this and activate it is the problem now. Okay. Oh, it has Summoning Sickness. Dang it. That doesn't work either. Well, I could block. Alright. I guess we go for that. If I play them both, one of them can block the Trickster and I don't die, though I'm dead to a basic island. But we'll give it a shot. Alright. Basic island dead. Curious Obsession, that's death too. Ah, so close. I wonder if I threw that one. I do tell you, I'm not exactly well versed with the deck. I'm pretty fresh to it. So, you know, I know you'll leave comments telling me how terrible I am at the game. It's fine. I guess I'll try this hand. I've got 2 lands and some removal spells at least here. Fun. Alright. Welcome back to another day in the arena. It's Groundhog Day here in the arena. Same decks, every day, over and over. Isn't Magic fabulous? So I like just fighting these cards right from the get-go. I like just forcing them to use their mana and do things as often as possible. Usually if they don't have a creature running, then they're not getting very far ahead. And this deck doesn't have catch-ups like board wipes, so I like just having the pressure up from the get-go if I can. Alright. So this is something we didn't have last game, a way to put pressure on the opponent, although they were perfectly fine playing Tempest Djinn and such. So, what have you got? Tempest Djinn or what? Burb. You got a little birdie critter. I call them birds. I know they're not birds. It's just a joke. It's like a 1/1 flyer for 1. Or 1 power flyer for 1. Spawn of Suntail Hawk and crap like that. Alright. I'll just keep making you have all the answers. If you have a counter, that's fine. Gotta get through them. More Whittle Critters. Good. That's fine. Okay, the opponent passes here. So, are they planning a chump block? That'd be weird. Maybe there's a Merfolk Trickster involved. Let's go find out. Yay! Hiya! May I has this treasure map? Alright, your turn. Opponent stopping on their own upkeep. God knows why. Only God knows why. Alright. We could try to get info from that, but I mean, come on. Have to be some way for them to scry, which I'm not sure what that instant speed scry something would be that anybody would play in this deck. Feels like it's just somebody on full control mode. Because they don't feel like their games take long enough. They're blue. They have to contemplate. It's the thinking deck, so we has to think. I think we already established how bad this card is in the matchup. But it's part of my combo. I'm going to bottom it. I know I hate it, but this is not the right matchup for it. This is the matchup for History of Benalia to flex. And yeah, it looks like that's still the plan. I'm going to try crashing in first. Uh-huh. You going to dive that down? No? Okay. Benalia. Yay! That's a pretty big resolution. So our opponent, if they had a Wizard's Retort or a Spell Pierce, would have used it there. So we're feeling okay. That means their hand is like dive down. They might be slow rolling a Curious Obsession. Okay, they've decided it's time to go for it. And what else is their hand? Might be a slow rolled Tempest Djinn. I guess another Merfolk Trickster isn't out of the question. But if they're lacking... Oh, they might have Essence Capture. They still could have Essence Capture. But lacking Wizard's Retort and facing another Benalia, that's going to be a lot of damage. So they're going to need, yep, to go for Tempest Djinn. This leaves Lyra open. So I need a land. Or I can flip this map to do it, but I prefer not to spend my treasures. Another night, please. So we could go for the Seal Away. I honestly don't think that's very good because the opponent is most likely to... Let's see. Actually, just in case they go for an Opt or something, I should probably at least have the seal away available, and I can do that by flipping the map and using a treasure to cast Lyra. That's pretty good. More flyers. I mean, it's not big enough to take on the Jhin, but we're gonna need Lyra to survive. Hiya! Alright. Now we'll see how the opponent wants to handle this next turn. Now attacking into the Giant Angel becomes a much more scary proposition for a Siren Storm Tamer with a Curious Obsession on it. So the opponent is going to need to, like, Trickster tap this or something. Okay. They must have a Trickster or a bounce spell then. Okay, they have a Trickster. Alright. It's going to be a nice attack on their part. We do get to crash back for a lot of damage. I have to be careful. Okay, just the Storm Tamer. So I could go for the Seal Away. The opponent could sacrifice the Storm Tamer, though, to prevent the ability. And I give up my 2 treasures, which I might need for my next turn. Let's see. Do I need them for my next turn? I can't do Shalai and Teferi. I still could get this to run into my Lyra if they don't have another Trickster. And the risk-reward is interesting. I'm sure I'll get them to play a spell, but it takes their counter shields down for the next turn. Maybe that's what we want. Just to make sure that Shalai resolves so that Lyra is untargetable. Uh-huh. Terramander. Okay. How's your spell count? I wish that they'd put a little box on here that gave the spell count. 4 and 5 lands. So Evolving Terramander can leave a mana open. Teferi can bin the Storm Tamer. Our opponent's at 12, so they need to block... They just need to block 1, so they're not going to have an issue with that. I could also play the Shalai, like I said, to protect the Lyra, which means the opponent basically can't do any kind of attacking. I think that's even better than the Teferi, to be honest. And we saw earlier they didn't have a Wizard's Retort or Spell Pierce, although a lot's changed. So let's send the Knights. It's a lot of damage. Opponent has to decide if they're willing to go to 4. They do go to 4, which means now they have to chump block Lyra indefinitely, which might be challenging. So Shalai to protect Lyra so that they can't move it out of the way leaves them without good attacks. The opponent says good game, and that's a scoop. Revenge against Mono Blue. Huh. I guess we'll try this hand. The 2 treasure maps are clunky. The 2 lands are clunky, but that's what the shuffler gives you more often than not, is 2 land. So I guess we have to go for it. And yay, mono red with 2 treasure maps. Oopsie. Alright. Well, we got some removal. That's always the important part. Can you cut the flow of damage from the creatures? Because those are the ones that get you. Stage just got lit. Lava just got run, I'm guessing. I'm sure you play the Lava Runner here. No. So the plan is to play Lava Runner next turn. Alright, well, we'll seal it away next turn then. They're going to shock me now, then Lava Runner next turn. That makes sense. It has haste. You can definitely take that line. Doesn't play around a 2-mana creature counterspell, but nobody runs that right now. Only mad lads. Yep. Let's shut that lava runner down. The spectacle continues. Do you light up the stage twice? Ah, we has been skewered. All right, I do want to take out this Fanatical Firebrand, and I'm just going to do it now before they untap and possibly read me for another seal away, because I don't want it to be able to gang up with a lightning bolt on my Shalai. If Shalai comes down and requires 2 bolts, that's very good for me, and definitely clears the way for Lyra. And there you go. Opponent out of ammo. Let's show the Shalai. If they have a risk factor, they have to play it in response. They can't target me once Shalai resolves. And here we go. All right, strike and shock. Well, if you eat 2 bolts, you're doing your job, Shalai. Good job. A+. Opponent flooding out a little. Let's show them the one I call Lyra Scoop Bringer. Hey, Red Mage, have you met Lyra? Off the top, do they draw the removal? They draw land. Perfect. Let's go get 5 life, shall we? Have you met Lyra? Alright. Let's drop that History Benalia. Don't you wish you had that skewer the critics from earlier? Right now? Just the way that red mages unload the hand sometimes, it cracks me up. Let's set up an upkeep scry with the treasure map. Keep digging for the goods. Yay, Time Stream Navigator. Maybe we can Helm of the Host combo this person. All we gotta do is find all the right pieces. Although, of course, I can just run them over with my more powerful mid-rangey cards. Up to 22, down to 8. We'll play Time Stream Navigator. Threaten to take an extra turn. Show our opponent a little of the spice we brought with us. And what is your next play? Experimental Frenzy, alright. Never give up, never surrender over here. Lightning Strike the Knight token. I appreciate that. Now the opponent isn't facing lethal. Oh, but they leave? Before I get to take my extra turn? I thought they would definitely Lightning Strike the Time Stream Navigator. But there you go. The mono white hand. Thank you, Shuffler. I guess I'll give it a try. We do have 2 removals, a Benalia and a Binding, so there's a lot to like. And we're gonna need them. Opponent coming out the gates with that Legion's Landing. There's a Helm of the Host. Awkward. I guess I can use the Seal Away here and save the Baffling End. Like, whether or not to seal away a token is such weirdness, but we are against this deck and you want to mess up its curve. Okay. You definitely want to mess up this deck's curve, as they can just, like, roll. And we want to take away the ability of Legion's Landing to flip next turn and put out a History Benalia and start making blockers. Oh, when I get my blue mana, you in trouble. When I get my blue mana, you in trouble. We will see. We will have to wait for that. Does our opponent have a history? Oh, come on, blue mana. Come on. I'm very displeased. All right, Baffling End. What does it hit with this deck? Not much. I guess Imara. And we have 2 Ixalan's Bindings that are stuck. I guess I have to keep playing my cards. I think I'm going to regret it a lot if I don't, because this deck just gets out of hand, and if I just sit back waiting for my lands. I need to keep casting spells, is what I'm saying. They can flip the landing at the cost of 2 more tokens. We just want to make everything have quite a cost. Okay. It's a good card to throw in the deck. Come on. Land off the top. Let's go. Oh, it's reading Baffling End. What do they have? A Knight of Autumn? Conclave Tribunal, I'm guessing. That's the only thing that would sit right here. I'd love an Ixalan's Binding for a Conclave Tribunal. Oh, they're gonna flip. Throw away those tokens. So be it. Come on, land off the top, please. You treat me so bad, deck. You treat me so bad. What have I ever done to you? Just keep exiling the creatures and say go. I don't want this to die because then they get 2 more tokens. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's something I would have loved to save a Baffling End for, and maybe I should have, but I know that I'm just falling behind if I sit. Blood pressure rising. That's going pretty deep. Bet if I had 13 lands, I'd have drawn it. Just trolling before you hammer something evil into the comments. Opponent's still reading Baffling End. Yeah, if you want a 3/3, all you gotta do is remove one of those. All they gotta do is leave the battlefield. I am stunned I'm not dead, by the way. Our opponent's hand can't be very impressive. All right, off the top. So, I am confident my opponent has a Tribunal. If I play an Ixalan's Binding, they will play the Tribunal, take out the Ixalan's Binding, get back whatever I get rid of. Then I can Binding the Tribunal and shut down Tribunals for life. No more Tribunals, that's the plan. So give me that. Okay, March of the Multitudes. Unfortunate. The real question now is, does the opponent have the pump spell? If they do, it's game over. You know, I would be happy if they traded off for these. Like, if they just... Although they could, like, put all 10 in front of 1 and gain a bunch of life, and then I just lose 1 knight, but I trade it for 2 tokens. If they have, what if they have a pump spell like, what am I dead to? So I'm at 19, basically 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I need the blocker if the opponent has a Tristani to stay alive. Yes, that's what I need. And if they have Flourish, I'm dead. So no attacks. No! We tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. Those infuriating draws. Those infuriating draws. That missing color, that stuck 1 mana short of your requirement. So slow with 2 treasure maps and 2 Shalais, but what can you do? Shuffler demands that you get 2 lands, you get 2 land. Mulliganing for 3 is usually you just get the same hand again. So, whatever. Yay! 3rd land off top. Now I'm lucky. put that upkeep stop. Probably looking for another land. I don't think that there's anything I'd rather have. Just to make sure I get to my Shalais and my Teferis. I don't know what my opponent's up to, but it's slow. I appreciate that. Okay. See? Look at that. 2 lands on top. Or were you last game, huh? I'll probably just run these maps as fast as I can. Why even play a Shalai that's not doing anything if I could be mapping? But I'll take my draw step. I don't think I need to upkeep Scry in this case. Oh, never mind. Let's get a Shalai down there. Or, you know what? This is good too. This is probably the engine. So, yeah. Let's do this and use our maps. Well done. Well done, deck. Now the deck wants to play ball. I sense a time stream Helm of the Host combo approaching. This seems like exactly the deck we want to play with it too. Life gain, mid-rangey stuff. Trying to do something similar to our Angel package, except we go over the top with an endless combo. Sounds good. The opponent reads Baffling End, like, where did my Angel go? I want my Angel back. How do I get it back? If I kill this, do I get it back? No, you don't. You get a 3/3 dinosaur. But you don't get the mythic rare that works off life gain, which I can tell you have an affinity for. Paladin of Atonement. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you lost life last turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Paladin of Atonement. When the Paladin dies, you gain life equal to toughness. Okay. Like I said, affinity for that life gain. I'm sure that we're actually playing this for the gain life equal to toughness side. I doubt my opponent has many ways to damage themselves to pump their Paladin of Atonement. And I don't need to damage you to win. I can take all the turns. So that's the plan. I do hope that, for the love of God, it's like my nightmare to make a time stream Navigator Helm of the Host video and never put Helm of the Host on a time stream Navigator. That is not my goal in life. That is not what I want to put into the world. I think I'll just keep the land. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Because then we can Teferi and untap 2 lands and then still use our treasure maps. So this deck, you can say what you want about Teferi. I know many people do not like Teferi, but I will say this. At least in this deck, he uses his power for good, putting together janky combos. And giving us a mid-range card to just kind of, again, force action out of our opponent and give ourselves a way to keep up on cards with the grindier decks of the format like Sultai and Rakdos. So if we're going to use Teferi, let's use Teferi's power for good. Oh boy. Oh boy. Our opponent's getting lit up in here. Divine Visitation. Good goodness. What nonsense have we walked into? I wonder how many token generators they have. Don't make another move. Let's see what we see. Deputy. Hard to turn that down. We could take the Divine Visitation away, or we could wait for the Angel tokens to get made and take those out. Either way, can't really turn that away. Let's go ahead and use the map just to raise its count. So we could scry first, but I'm not... Do I want to play Deputy this turn? It's actually really sweet to have a Shalai and then a Deputy. Go over here. And we can plus this. Let's skip to the good part. And then on end step, we'll untap the Treasure Cove so we can draw a card, and the map can also be flipped with the land that we untap. And Shalai protects Teferi, and it protects the Deputy. So doing God's work over here. Now we just have to assemble the combo. And the opponent has to not quit. So I'm going to try to play quickly. I might make some mistakes, but I don't want them to leave because they're obviously in a terrible position. Even a Settle the Wreckage wouldn't help. I mean, help me, I guess. I don't know. I guess more maps is good to keep trying to find a combo. I don't need to expose the Shalai to a seal away, so I won't even attack with it. I'll play another map. Scry. Scry, please. Yeah, the opponent's got something they could do. I guess they could sack the Fountain of Renewal, so it is an onboard activation. This is where the bully emotes come out in Twitch. And they say I'm bullying a new player and being mean to them. This beating wasn't meant for you. Always what I like to say. Wasn't meant for you. I was hoping to maybe go off against a Sultai deck or something else kind of meddling and middling, which I've done in practice a few times and would love to do for the YouTubes. But instead, so far we've been up against the Mono Blues. Hey, we found you. Okay, so there is a bit of a problem with the Helm. You don't want to play it until you can at least get a use out of it, because this can be targeted. Still, do we run it out? I think I can wait. No attacks. If the opponent has something to remove this, it'll be a Conclave Tribunal, or it'll be an Ixalan's Binding. And we can find our own Ixalan's Binding to take care of that, or Teferi can mine us to take care of that. It would be really weird if it was Invoke the Divine, something that actually puts this in the graveyard. Okay, the opponent's going for the card draw. Plus, we can set up to make everything hexproof with Helm of the Host on Shalai. Helm of the Host on Deputy can exile anything they have. Pass. Okay. I mean, I don't blame them for scooping it up. Playing as fast as I want, I still have a lot of game actions to take, and my board is unovercomable. Alright. See if we can find somebody else to watch us play out this combo. Alright. I guess so. A removal spell, a map, a binding, a Shalai. The things you want. Opponent on a mull to 6. Anybody else think of like the Capsule Corpse logo from Dragon Ball Z over here? Just kind of gets me. Mountain is the play for the opponent. Let's set up an upkeep scry with our treasure map. See if we get shocked here. Nope. And the Steamkin is going to run away. Or it's going to try. Yeah, I've got enough land. 4 is usually dece. And this, of course, sort of functions as a 5th. So bottoming land here makes sense. We'll see what our opponent does. I may or may not want that upkeep stop. Pass to damage. Okay, just gonna seal you away. This is not a card I ever want to see for very long, ever. So locking it down makes plenty of sense. And another one, fun. Well, if I don't want to see him, I don't have to see him. Let's hope you have 2 more in your hand. Haha. Now I'll put an upkeep stop. The next... Oh, if I had Shalai out, this would have had to target himself. It would have been great. Themself. Yeah, but I'll keep a seal away. All the cheap removal against red is good. All the cheap removal. So this gives me hexproof, and this says target player, which means our opponent would have to target themselves with Pyromancer. It's hilarious. Alright, so they got ways to kill it. Let's put an upkeep stop to get another scry here. But we did eat 2 burn spells, and that is glorious. Alright, draw. Main. Do we run out another Shalai? Making my opponent have another Wizard's Lightning or Shock. I could take their Pyromancer off the board. That may make it difficult for them to Wizard's Lightning the Shalai when we do play it. but I don't want to give up my treasures. I'm going to want those cards. Third mountain. Ah, they did have another pyromancer. Ugh. I really, really want them to have to shock themselves with one of those. It's like one of my bucket list goals. So yeah, I could have prevented this whole line by playing another Shalai there. Live and learn. Let's draw a card. And let's play the Shalai. And let's play another treasure map. And your go. Bonus land from Light Up the Stage, Fanatical Firebrand. So now they can tag team Shalai with even one lightning bolt. But we've absorbed so much damage using our Shalais. You have to feel pretty good about this. Alright. Can't help but feel pretty good. We're still taking punches, but we also still have 12 life to play with at a phase where they're down to one relevant card. So let's see what we can find. Binding, sure. Lock them down. It's safer than Deputy of Detention. I'm also going to draw a card here first, just in case it's something I'd rather play. I think I'd slam a Lyra if I drew it. And we'll play this tap to say go. Set another upkeep stop for the treasure map. We're very close to parity. The opponent's going to head upstairs with Skewer the Critics. You might have wanted to hold that. They've already seen things like Shalai and such. Hard not to keep a Baffling End. Just more removal for their creatures. It doesn't help if they draw a ton of burn, so I'm a little nervous about that. But since we're drawing multiple cards a turn and scrying, I feel like we can find a way to absorb the burn damage. And that is History of Benalia, which puts a clock on our opponent. That is ideal. That is what we need right now. Put a clock on this opponent. Battlefield Presence. And upkeep, let's get the map going again. Let's keep scrying lands to the bottom at this stage whenever we can. Don't need more. Oh, there you go. We got to get rid of this Firebrand, though. It can kill the Time Stream Navigator. Let's draw a card with the Treasure Cove and try to set up Helm of the Host. Can we find our Helm? Arch of Arazka. Well, that draws more cards. Let's send in the Knight. I could draw an extra card with Arch and keep trying to find the Helm. I could remove this. I don't like letting my opponent have Spectacle whenever possible. I'm going to play the Deputy. If the opponent sacrifices this in response, I have a 1/3 with no problems. And if they don't, then they're incentivized to use some kind of a bolt to kill it. And either way, I get a 1/3 body. All right, end turn. All right, let's hope that you have a Viashino Pyromancer and a Runaway Steamkin in your hand. Night Pump. Let's draw some cards. Baffling End. History of Benalia. It looks like I'm probably going to be able to beat my opponent to death well before we set up the combo. And end turn. Alright, another Fanatical Firebrand. Opponent trying to live. Let's draw the extra card. Come on, Helm of the Host, where are you? Come on. If I get to do it to one deck, I want it to be the red deck. Alright, we'll try for another Deputy play. Swing in. Let's go for a draw. Lyra. All right, I'm gonna put the Navigator out there so the opponent sees the level of jank that we're bringing to the table. And that's the scoops. That's the scoops. Claim that prize. 4 wins, 2 losses. Let's press onward. Back against the wall. I still love to combo somebody. Grab this hand. It's slow. We might be dead before it does anything. Unless we draw a Baffling End. But I don't think you can mulligan it. It's one of those trap hands, right? Where you might just get run over if your opponent has a good draw. And it looks like our opponent has a perfectly fine draw, but at least it's not a runaway Steamkin. If we had a seal away right there, the whole game could be changing, but alas, frickin' red. Wow. Wow. Yeah. This is great. This is fine. All this is fine. This is fine. All right. What's the play? I could take away their Lava Runner, but if they bolt it, it just comes back and has haste. If I take away the Pyromancer, it just comes back and does 2 damage. If I play a Benalia, they just kill it, probably. But at least I get another 2/2 for free next turn, so that's something. So yeah, I think that's where we have to be. Expecting them not to have a burn spell is so ridiculous here, because we've seen that they didn't have a burn spell in their top 10 cards. Or top 8, I guess. There we go. Down to 10. So we could play Shalai, but that doesn't stop the runaway Steamkin from running us over. I'm going to bind away the Steamkin at least. Shut that stuff out forever. Does the opponent try to bolt their way through my knight? No, they do not. All right. Dubs Pyromancer. Oh god. Oh god. And Chain Whirls. Well, well, well. Pretty sure that's game over, friends. But we could play Shalai and go to 1 and block Goblin Chain Whirler. And then next turn play a Deputy to take out the Pyros. It's the best thing I can come up with. That's game. Alright. Sadness. Fall to mono red. Don't have 2-drop in hand. Make it no good. Okay. Combo, a removal spell, and some action to kind of get our draw ready and get the mana we need. Let's go for it. Is this the one? Is this the one? Stomping Ground. It's not even a mono red deck or a mono blue deck. It's all coming together. I don't think I want the upkeep scry here. I'll happily take my draw step, then decide. The way I determine that is I have something I'd like to play for 2 mana, or a 3 mana play wouldn't be bad if I top decked it. Incubation Druid. Our opponent's ramping a little bit. I could Deputy that and slow them down, or I could work on my map. Or I could Deputy what they play with the Druid. I guess like a Rekindling Phoenix or something like that would be frustrating, but I think I'll work on the maps. I think getting the maps going is what we need. We need to keep drawing land, so that's step 1. I'm going to upkeep stop this time, because if we don't put a land on top, I'm going to want to do my best to do so. Okay, our opponent's a beefy monster thing. What are they doing with that Incubation Druid, though? Skargan Hellkite? What do you think? So, I'll say go. The plan is seal away for this turn. Just not a Vivian Reed. Pretty please. Alright. Here it comes. Boom. Seal you away. Alright, I definitely want to keep lands coming. Zartog Goblin. Okay. So it's a much more aggressive deck than I thought. Deputy Detention's going to enjoy this a little bit. But if the Deputy dies, it's so bad for me. That's a land. And I think that's all I really want. So we're still going to use this map just for the sake of getting the counters on it. Alright, land for turn. Deputy. Take those away. And let's go ahead and flip this. Opponent might have some kind of instant speed artifact removal, which would be weird, but possible. Do I want it to fairy? Those Zertog Goblins, I guess Teferi can draw a lot of fire. So I'm going to keep it. And we'll pass turn. The idea is usually the opponent might give a lot of attention to a Teferi. Here's a Spellbreaker. Is there a Lightning Strike for the Deputy? That's what I'm most worried about now. Doesn't look like it. No blocks. What you got? Don't do it. Thud. Alright, everybody's on the Thud deck today. I've already played it a few times, yeah, but those will probably get cut because I was just trying to get the combo to go off. Do I still want you? Like, casting you doesn't do much, right? Wanted you before, but now my deputy's gone. I'd prefer something else. But it does, like I said, it draws fire. So if I put this out there and a Time Stream Navigator, maybe Time Stream lives and Teferi dies, and then I can Helm. I'd be down one of these, and I'd be up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not enough to go off, though, because it takes like 13 mana or something. So I need to play the Helm first. So that's this turn. This turn is Helm. That is a draw. That is a draw. Let's go be as sneaky as possible here. Here's Helm. Here's map. Okay, sure. Let's pass the turn. See how much damage the opponent tries to put on me here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 4 is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we can do it. I can take this hit. I can take this hit and win, I think. Is this it? Oh, don't concede. Don't concede. Don't leave me, opponent. Equip. Next, make the token. Activate the token. From out of nowhere. Let's make our other turn happen first. Because if we forget to do this, we'll just die. And then we can go with a blue and a white and play you. Oh, hold on. We're still in the combat step. Got too excited. Can't blame me. Actually, we can just beat you to death with Time Stream Navigator. That's pretty funny. Alright, tap you for colorless, tap you for colorless, unlike last time. Sacrifice that. You don't want to attack with it. Get him. Alright, now I will make a blue. Play Deputy of Detention. Opponent sticking it out like a pro. Perhaps they haven't seen this one before. Alright. Cancel. Next. Let's just activate it. Doesn't really matter if I get to cast my deputies here. It just quickens the clock for going through the motions, which I want to be respectful. and end it quickly before the opponent scoops. All right, next. Sacrifice. All attack. Let's play this land. Helm of the Host is legendary, so before you ask me to play the second one to really go crazy, know what you're asking. I can't do it. All right. Use you. There's Lyra. Slam Lyra. Make a token. We're almost there, but you can tell, taking all the turns, it's not gone. It never left. It can still be done with maybe a bit more work. Maybe a lot more work. All right, all in. Woo, we got it. We did it one time. Navigator, Helm of the Host. It happened. It happened. Well, it took a little doing, but we got there. We played a whole constructed event, didn't go off. Still got a respectable 4-3 record. There might be something just to an Azorius Angels deck without the combo, but through much perseverance and effort, we finally found an opportunity to go off, an opponent willing to sit it out. So I would like to thank that opponent very much if they're watching out there. And I hope that you enjoyed seeing the combo happen, and I hope you get to try this for yourself. Thank you for watching the video today. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment. You can also support the channel on Patreon for special perks. Links are in the description. Our sponsors are HauntedFlower.com and FlipsideGaming.com. Haunted Flower sells officially licensed MTG apparel and accessories, and Flipside Gaming sells MTG cards and supplies. You can save 10% on either site with the promo code CGB, and it supports the channel at the same time. See you next time for another day in the arena. For now, it's me, it's CGB, signing out.